My name is Shiva. I'm from the Odisha state of India. The story, which I'm going to tell you, happened to my father's eldest brother. The village where they lived was built near a dam, and the people from the neighboring villages would use this dam in order to catch fish so they could be sold in the city markets. My uncle was a fisherman. Every day, he would fish from that dam and ride to the city on his bicycle in order to sell off his fresh catch. One day, as usual, after he was done fishing, he made his way to the city. However, on that day, it happened to be a festival day. This meant that all his fish got sold quickly, and he had the entire day free to spend roaming around the city. Those days, there was a famous movie being played in the theater, and so he thought there was no use in going home so early and decided to watch the movie. By the time the show ended, it was already dark outside. He picked up his bicycle and made his way towards his village. In the local villages, people used to go to bed by sunset. It was now 10 o'clock at night, and the roads were deserted. It was summertime, and after cycling for a few kilometers, he got drenched in sweat. So, when he reached the dam, he thought it would be a good idea to take a quick bath in the cold water to clean up and cool off. He parked his bike there and jumped into the water, but as soon as he hit the water, he heard a faint sound of a woman crying. It was dark everywhere, so hearing that crying sound, he started looking around frantically in order to find out where it was coming from, when all of a sudden, he spotted a woman who was walking towards him from a distance. Seeing that woman, he yelled at her and asked, "Hey, who are you? Why are you crying?" The woman replied, "I live in a neighboring village, but I have lost my way. Can you please help take me home?" Hearing that, my uncle got very confused because the village that she was talking about was located on a straight road from the dam, so it wasn't really possible for someone to get lost or lose their way. But he thought because the woman was alone, that maybe she was scared to go home alone. He didn't think much and agreed to take the woman to her village. It also happened to be in the same direction as his own, so it wasn't a big problem. "Yeah, don't worry, I'll help you get to your village," my uncle said. The woman replied, "Oh, thank you. You please take your bath while I go get my baby." Listening to that, my uncle got even more confused. Not only was the woman going alone to her village this late at night, but she had also left her baby somewhere. What type of woman is she? My uncle thought. He finished up and got out of the water and started putting his clothes on. In the meantime, the woman returned, this time with the small child in her arms. The baby was crying continuously, and because of the darkness, my uncle was not able to make out the woman or the baby's features clearly. So, he took out his phone and turned on the flashlight, and then what he saw scared him to death. As the light hit their face, he could see that the woman and the baby had only dark black holes for their eyes. The light also caught the woman's legs, which were twisted horrifically. Seeing that, my uncle started running from there towards his home, leaving his clothes and his bicycle behind. But the woman started chasing him. She flew into the air and started screaming at him.
"Stop! Don't run! My baby is hungry! I must give her something to eat.
But he didn't stop. He kept running as fast as he could until he reached his home. Upon reaching his home, he told everybody about the incident with the woman and her baby. After some time, when things felt like they had got back to normal, my uncle took some of his friends with him and went back to the dam. That woman was gone, but all his belongings were still lying there. He quickly picked up his clothes, his money, and took his bicycle and left. Shortly after that day, my uncle fell ill with a high fever. However, he recovered after several days, and thankfully he was all right. But since that day, my uncle never came home late at night. This story is from a girl's perspective. My name is Tanya. I am from the West Bengali state of India. The story, which I'm going to tell you, happened with my auntie. My auntie lived in the Sundarban district of West Bengali. Sundarban was well known and famous for its jungles. This place is really beautiful, but equally scary too. Many filmmakers have shot movies about this place. And so, it was around mid-February. The winters were declining and the summer was fast approaching. Auntie's husband used to stay overnight in different cities for work. And during those nights, my aunt would sleep in the farmhouse, which was behind their actual home. She wanted to keep watch over their rice. Her home was just next to the field, and it was common for people to sleep in their respective fields, so there was nothing to fear. The place where she used to lay on her mat was next to a small pond, just a few feet away. So, one night, when Auntie was sleeping, she felt a strong pain in her arm. The pain was so much that she shot up and awoke from her sleep. When she woke, she saw a small girl, around 7 to 8 years old. She had long, sharp teeth, and her hair was a mess. It was that sight of the girl who was sitting right next to her when my aunt realized that the pain was coming from the little girl who was chewing on my auntie's forearm. My auntie quickly pulled her arm away and ran towards the house. When she reached her home, she looked back and saw the girl standing there when, all of a sudden, she turned around and jumped into the pond that my aunt was sleeping beside. The next day, my auntie told everyone in the village about the little girl and the incident. She showed everyone the marks on her arm. Everyone became very scared, and since that night, everyone has decided they would stop sleeping in their fields. Well, friends, how'd you like today's story? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for this channel to listen each and every weekday for more real horror stories. We got a ton of amazing real horror stories, and we're dying to share them with you. So until then, stay out of the dark and stay tuned for our next video.